Hello and welcome to episode 33 of the 71st Hour Gaming Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Jamie, and as always, joined by Ben and Nathan. How you guys doing?
Good. How
Yo.
are you?
Didn't say host. Didn't say host. Didn't say that. It said I was a host.
Yeah, true.
So I
you
feel
say
like
you're
we're
a host.
already off to a good start.
Yeah.
How
I'm
you
a
guys been?
horse.
How's your
Yeah,
week
horse.
been?
I'm your horse.
What's the fucking horse, man? That's a top 10 moment. Top 3 at least.
Top 3.
How's your week been? How you guys been doing?
Oh,
Chilling.
Haven't talked in a
unusual.
while. It's been less than 24 hours.
It's been yeah. Has it been a long time?
Less than 12 even.
Yeah.
True. Actually, it has
playing-
been less than 12 hours.
Yeah.
That's actually true.
Playing a hell of a lot of party animals, which we will talk about in just a little bit. So I did want to start off with what we've been playing this week, just because I feel like we've got a lot to talk about.
We do.
Got a lot of games, lots of stuff to talk about. I realized. No, actually, don't worry. Ignore me.
Okay.
I was gonna say I didn't get gameplay for party animals, but I did. So
Okay.
it's fine.
Ignoring.
It's perfect.
We're ignoring.
Anyone here, Jamie?
Yeah, can hear.
Okay, so let's not do that. Let's not do that. Don't. I mean, it's better to happen in a minute into the podcast than 10, 20. What
You
about
told
the
us to
time we
ignore
did?
you.
How long of the podcast did we do and we weren't recording?
I was like 3 minutes. It was
It
fine.
was
Yeah,
3
it was
minutes.
only
It was,
3
yeah.
And then
we
we-
were cutting into it.
We were talking about something all new again. It was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, we were talking. We started. I remember because we were talking about Amnesia Bunker. Was that what it's called? The Amnesia Bunker game.
were we
Were we?
talking about that?
I don't
You
think
were
we were
talking
I
talking
don't
about
remember. Shit,
We
you've
were-
got a good memory.
I remember.
I don't remember
I
at
remember
all what
talking
we
about
were
that. We were like, we had some questions. We talked about it, and then you cut it, and we had to ask the same question over again. Actually,
That's
like,
right. No, yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah.
100% right. Yeah, it's just movie magic. It's just perfect.
Exactly. You guys know some shit, so it's great.
So I'm gonna be very selfish, and I'm gonna go first
Okay.
with what I've been playing this week.
You
So I want to give a cheeky update on Mortal Kombat 1.
Yep.
I said combat weird there. I don't know why. I said combat.
Kombat.
Mortal Kombat 1. So yeah, I finished the campaign. I've done a little bit of the post-campaign stuff. And I'm a little lower on the game overall after my, I'd say, glowing first impressions. But it's not, I don't think it's the game's fault. I think it's my fault. Because I expected this to be very much like a proper reboot of this universe. And it's not really. It does take a lot of what has happened in Mortal Kombat 10, 11, 9, maybe, like back all the way back. A lot of what happened in that universe still matters in this universe. And it gets very chaotic at the end. And there was a lot of stuff happening that I was like, I don't quite understand what's happening here. And if I should understand who these people are, or if it's like they're new characters, it was a little bit of like, honestly, it felt like playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, where I wasn't sure if I should have known stuff that was happening in the game or it was all new. Like it kind of had that weird like juxtaposition of like, it's for new players, but also you'll get a lot more out of it if you've already played previous entries in the game, in the franchise. So yeah, I kind of left the campaign being like, that was fun, but I wasn't as high on it as I was at the beginning, where it was, we're learning about these characters. They've got these new origins, and like Sub-Zero and Scorpion are buddies, which is like a really cool kind of twist on, two characters that have, always been like mortal enemies in previous games. I'm sure there's been other moments where they haven't been, but to me, they've always been very, very angry with each other. But as like a fighting game, I mean, this game's great. Like it's as someone who is not really a fighting game person, I just felt really like supported in like learning the game. Like I think they do a really good job. Like I said in like the tutorial, like they do a really great job of kind of easing you into kind of the technical aspects of the game that I will probably never properly learn, because it's just a lot. Like it's just a lot to know the combos, and like Mortal Kombat is particularly unfriendly in terms of executing combos versus, I'd say, more modern fighting games. That's what I've heard, at least, where it is a little more a little slower and a little harder to pull off this stuff. Whereas I'd say stuff like Street Fighter and Guilty Gear are a lot more friendly when it comes to the timing of combos. So it's kind of weird for my like proper first fighting game experience to be a game that's very unfriendly at fighting games, but I've still really enjoyed it. Like I've been playing on like the normal difficulty. I haven't done any online yet because I'm scared. and I know I'm
Understandably
gonna get
so.
my ass kicked.
Mhm.
So I've just mainly been doing the campaign and then this other post campaign mode called Invasions. And Invasions is like, I think I talked about it previously. It's like the board game looking
Mhm.
view,
Mhm.
and you sort of go across to these nodes on this map, and there'll be a fight. You have a fight, but they'll have like modifiers. So like some characters will have like super armor where you can only attack them at certain points. So a lot of the time, it's like teaching you how to block effectively. Other times you'll have the stuff like test your strength, where it's like you kind of just button mash the face buttons and then strike at the right moment. They're kind of fun little mini games, and they're not really too involved. Um, and yeah, Invasions is fun. It is very grindy though. Like each board, I'd say is it probably filled with like 25 to 35 nodes. So it's a lot. It is a lot to get through, and but you are well rewarded with like cool little cosmetics and like shaders for your characters and backgrounds and music tracks and plenty of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff for people who are really, really dedicated to that. Um, I'm not sure how long I'll stick around with that mode just because it is a little bit formulaic and a little bit repetitive. Um, but it is a great way to kind of learn the game without getting my ass handed to me in online. So that's also a good aspect of it, I guess. And there's obviously more to it. Like obviously there's you've got online, you've got ranked mode, and the cool thing about MK1 is that each rank you hit, you'll get like special cosmetics that only you only get at those kind of ranks, which is cool. I will never get a lot of those cosmetics, obviously,
Yep.
because I believe it is based on you win, you go up a rank, you move up the bar, your elo goes up, and if you lose, I'm actually not sure if you lose elo or if you just gain a little bit, but not as
Mhm.
much.
Mhm.
But yeah, I really really enjoy the game. I guess I wanted to answer the question like, is this a good game for new players of fighting games? And I think it is. I think it's a really good starting off point. But I think there might be better options out there. Like I think even Street Fighter 6 might be a better option for new players who are just really wanting to get into fighting games.
Mhm.
And Mortal Kombat is more of that like if you're really into that vibe of Mortal Kombat, then you're obviously going to dig that more. But as like a mechanics and gameplay driven experience, I think Street Fighter 6 is probably better for the newer
Mm.
player.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. The voice acting is great, except for Megan Fox, who I honestly think
I
she
forgot
did.
she was in the game. I forgot she
I
was in
think she did like one take for all her lines. There's a line she does where her voice cracks, and I'm like, how is this in the game? How did they let that slide? Um, I honestly, this was obviously made during COVID times, so I'm wondering if like she was like on a shitty webcam mic doing it because the
Oh my god,
quality is
yeah.
significantly worse on her lines versus everyone else. And just even like an audio quality standpoint, like it sounds like she was in like a closet recording her lines versus some of the other voice actors who probably had their own home setups to do it.
Mm.
Um, yeah, it's baffling. And like every time I have to verse her or play as her, I'm like, I really don't want to because just don't really like her as a character. Don't like her performance. I don't like how she looks either. Because I don't know if you've seen her, but it's literally just Megan Fox's face in like this vampire
Hold on.
cosplay.
Hold on. I'm looking it up. Hold on.
Um,
What's the
and it's
character's name?
not great. I think they should have just made her look different. I don't think they should have been like, let's just make her look like Megan Fox. Yeah, not the best choice.
Oh my
I
god.
feel
Oh
like
my
it's
god,
just
yeah. Wait, it literally is just Megan Fox
it's
and
just her face on it like as a vampire.
oh my god, it is.
Yeah, I feel like it might have been a waste of money. I feel like it might have just been a little waste of money. I'm not sure if people are necessarily buying Mortal Kombat 1 because Megan Fox is in the game, but maybe I mean I'm not really a Megan Fox fan, so maybe that's why.
Excuse you.
She's not a good actor. I'm sorry. She's literally just like basically set dressing in Transformers. Like let's be honest.
Bro, you didn't
True.
like her in Jennifer? Is that what it was called? That movie? That the
I
movie
think she was. Well, I heard she was okay in Jennifer's Body. I think.
Jennifer's Body, that's what it's called, yeah.
Bro, these
Um,
cutscenes are crazy. Sometimes I'll look
Yeah.
over at it and I'll be like, is that real life?
Yeah, yeah, they look real good.
Yeah.
They look real good.
Insane.
I think they're pre-rendered.
It'd have to be,
That
right?
makes sense. That
Because
has
but
yeah.
it is I'm pretty sure it's using the game's engine.
Yeah.
But they are pre-rendered because I did notice there's scenes where like there's a lot of particle effects on screen and you can see the like the artifacting when there's a lot of stuff going
Mm.
on. But honestly, it only happened in a few moments to the point where like the beginning of the game I didn't realize. I thought this was just because it really does see look at her,
Oh,
man. Like it's
Jennifer.
just
It's
not
Megan
great. It's
Fox.
just not a great choice. But yeah, I'm gonna continue playing Mortal Kombat 1. I'm really enjoying it. I think I'm 11 hours played on this game so far. That's the PlayStation in-game time, so it's hard to judge if that's accurate or not. But yeah, I'm really digging it, and I can't wait for the new characters. Give me Omni-Man and Homelander. I'm
Oh,
very
true.
excited for that.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm not sure when that DLC is coming because it's obviously not out yet. So I think it's like, if I remember right, it's like every 3 months. All right. Who would like to go first? Ben, do you want to talk about Titanfall?
Yeah, I'm gonna be very quick on Titanfall. I'm gonna be very, very quick.
Okay.
Because I've talked about Titanfall before when I was doing the North Star servers. But recently they came out, they did a patch, and they actually fixed the Titanfall 2 servers, the actual servers, so you can
Did they
actually
say what was wrong with them? Because I honestly don't remember them being broken. I thought it was just people stopped playing it.
No, the servers were actually broken. The servers actually broken mainly because oh, sorry, cannot speak. My brain is not working.
Oh,
Mainly
I know.
because
Wasn't it like the
hackers.
hacking and stuff? Yeah,
Yeah, shit ton of hacking, and then basically, I forgot what hackers did, but basically, you could not find servers anymore. The servers were completely busted, and you could not find games anymore. So that's
Yeah,
the
who would
North
fucking do
Star.
that?
Yeah,
That's
then
so weird, man. Like a game that came out 6 years ago, just completely making it unplayable.
right, and then the North Star servers came in, which is basically like private servers, it's like community run servers for
Yeah.
Titanfall. But then they fixed it again recently, and dude, this game is just so much fun. Like I have 5-6 hours just straight into multiplayer. I've been just doing straight multiplayer, and there's definitely like there's the people that have not left the game that have been playing on the North Star servers, and they're fucking cracked. Like you can't get past them. They're real good at the game. But like since right now there's like 12,000 people playing on a daily basis, there's like there's right now a lot of people playing. So like you'll get like maybe like 3 or 4 people who are insane, and everybody else who is trying to learn the game.
Sure.
So right now it's just very fun going back into the game, and like it's such a good series, man. It's so much fun with how the Titans work and the different game modes, and the movement is just it's very nice, very fun.
So unfortunate we're never gonna get Titanfall 3.
Yeah, it sucks.
I mean, I have to imagine at some point
I think with
there
the
will be a
reception,
Titanfall 3.
I think with the reception that Titanfall 2 has and how many people are playing right now, there probably is going to be a Titanfall 3.
I mean, to be honest, I don't think 12,000 people playing is like enough to warrant there being like,
Oh
let's
yeah, no,
greenlight a
12,000
sequel. I think it is
true,
getting a lot
but
of, obviously there's conversations around it, which is cool, but
the
I
thing
don't
is
know.
though is that like with Titanfall 2 servers coming back, there hasn't really been like there wasn't any like press about it or anything like that. You know what I mean? There was like some news coverage. The only reason I heard about it is because Shadow saw someone in another Discord playing on the servers. That's the only reason that I
Yeah,
know it
it's definitely
exists.
it's definitely gotten games
Ye-
press.
Oh, yeah, like I seen like after I looked it up, I saw like 1 or 2 articles, but like I haven't seen like that many like YouTube videos or anything. Like I haven't seen anything like out in the wild about it. So but overall, I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. I'm trying to learn the movement of the game. I'm trying to learn how to quicken up the movement and actually be able to basically aim while moving. Because like the thing about this game that makes it really difficult is like imagine like the Halo hit registration mixed with like double the speed of Destiny. Like you're moving quick with really tight hit registration, so you got to be really precise with your mouse movements, which I'm not used to. I'm used to Halo where it's very slow
It's
and
slower.
methodical, right? This one is not that. Yeah, so trying to get used to that is pretty difficult, but overall I'm
It's
having a
kind
good
of
time
just
with
like Apex Legends, but a little more on crack.
it. Yeah, basically. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very
the time
similar
to
to
kill is a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Versus
yeah, time to
Apex.
kill is huge. Sorry, it's well, you know what I mean. It's very small. Like you die super quick, especially if you get headshots. Like with like some weapons, it takes like 2-3 headshots and you're dead. Fine.
It's like Modern Warfare 2 style, like
Yeah,
OG Modern Warfare 2 time to
yeah.
kill.
It's like that. Just people are now wall running and sprinting, and they are moving at light speed past you, and they kill you in 3 seconds, or like less than that. They kill you in like 1 second. Like you, it's very difficult. But overall, having a good time with it. It's very fun.
It is a fun game. I'm not sure. Like, I'll definitely play some.
Mm,
But I'm not. I want a new Titanfall because I
understandable.
played a bunch of Titanfall 2 multiplayer already, so I
Mhm,
feel like I've already experienced a lot of what that game has to offer. But I'll definitely
mhm.
jump in to play it again
Yeah,
because
and as you said, there's no FOMO. There's no FOMO with that game. Came out in 2016. There's no
and there's
FOMO.
no FOMO, which means
Yeah,
I've got no reason to play it.
no reason to play it. No
That's
reason.
why I play any games. And
Yeah.
just like the FOMO that I was feeling for Diablo 1, Diablo season 1, sorry, not
Hmm.
Diablo 1.
Mhm. Diablo 1, you go back to Diablo 1?
Yeah, I went back to Diablo 1. No, I became a little obsessed with Diablo 4 recently.
Mhm.
I have finished the battle pass in that game.
Yep.
I've done a lot of the challenges and stuff to get the season 1 rewards and a lot of that stuff, and I've been running a necromancer and playing around with that. And this game is real fun. It's really fun, man. The main reason I went back to it is because they released a patch where they increased the XP gains on minion kills. Um, so they've fixed a lot of what I had issue with in the game originally. So stuff like when we were playing in dungeons and like the dungeon would be like we'd get to the end of the dungeon and it would be like, oh, you missed a minion back there, you got to go all the way
Oh,
back.
yeah, go all the way back and kill the
They've
minion. Yeah,
restructured how the dungeons work,
that's
like
good.
the architecture of them. So a lot of the times it is almost like a straight path. Like
Mhm.
you don't really there's some moments where you have like forks in the road, but they'll always loop back to where you were. Um, and so it's a lot better that way where you're not really doing a lot of backtracking in dungeons, and it feels like the flow of them is a lot better now. After they made those changes, and they made those changes like a few months ago, just into season 1. So, or I guess a couple months ago, a few weeks into season 1. So I hadn't experienced that yet, and I was like, oh, this is much cleaner that way, and it's much more enjoyable. And I guess the main thing that I've really enjoyed about Diablo for me is like I like that I can just play it solo. Like I don't have to
Yeah.
depend on people to play like end game content.
Mhm.
Which is always the thing with Destiny. It's like, oh yeah, I want to do Destiny end game content, but it's like getting people together,
You gotta
getting a
go to
fire team. It's like it's
LG,
the whole
yeah.
thing. But with Diablo, I can be like, I feel like playing Diablo. I'm just gonna play it.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, and it's really good that the content is mostly soloable. I don't think there actually is. I think everything is you can solo, which is except for maybe like
Even
world bosses.
I would say world bosses, yeah, can use oh, yeah, I
Um,
was gonna ask about
but
that.
honestly, man, my necromancer, I have found a very broken build
Mhm.
where I have this aspect, which is it's a seasonal aspect that you can only get now, and it's only active at the moment.
Mhm.
And when season 2 launches, it won't be possible. It's like the things you get from the malignant enemies that
Yeah.
you slot into like jewelry. And basically, what happens is when you do a critical hit, for 4 seconds after that critical hit, the enemy will absorb all of the damage you do and then burst damage all at once after that 4 seconds. And so I'm hitting like 200,000 crits, 300,000 crits, and but it's just deleting bosses, like bosses,
Mm.
like dungeon bosses and like, the oh fuck, what are the dungeons called that you do? Oh man, I don't remember what they're called. Like they're the high level dungeons, the nightmare dungeons. I'm taking down nightmare dungeon bosses in like 3 seconds. Like they're
Jesus
just drop
Christ.
it
Yeah.
it's gotten to the point where I'm like just deleting everything, and I know a lot of people would be like, "That's not really that fun just to be able to like cruise through everything."
There's a power fantasies though, right? The power
But
fantasy
it's
of
a whole lot
yeah.
of fun to just have like to use the tendrils and just suck in 20 enemies and just burst
Yeah.
by them and just delete the entire room. Like
Mhm.
that shit's really fun and honestly hasn't gotten old yet. Um, but now that I have finished the battle pass, I'm gonna slow down a little bit because that was kind of what I was there for. Like
Yeah.
I
That's your
wanted to make sure
FOMO.
I got those
That's your
rewards.
FOMO.
It FOMO to an extent. Like if I wasn't enjoying it, I would have stopped.
Mhm.
Like I wasn't forcing myself to play it. It was just kind of like a cool incentive to continue playing. And it was really like really quick.
Mhm.
I've really haven't played that much. Like I'd say maybe across season 1, maybe 20 hours total. Um, so that's I mean, I honestly that think that's very fair. It's actually more fair than Destiny's battle pass. Like Destiny's battle pass takes way longer than that.
It takes a long time, yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think they've done a really good job with like evening out like the making the game fun for me at least. I know a lot of people are still bored by it. It can get repetitive if you're just doing nightmare dungeons. But I haven't been doing the thing that a lot of Diablo players I think do, where they try and find the most optimized way to level up. Where they're like, I'm gonna run this dungeon 20 times a day, every day.
Yeah, just
And it's
constantly
like,
doing the same
yeah,
thing.
I would probably get bored of that too. But I'm just
Mhm.
like, oh, you know what? I'll do a side mission, which really don't give you that much XP. But honestly, the side missions in this game are actually pretty good. Now
Mm.
that I'm
Mhm.
actually listening to what the NPCs are saying, and there's like proper side quest like quest lines
Mhm.
that I kind of skipped over in the preseason. I was saying this before, but like I didn't realize the opening cinematic. There's a side mission where you go back to that area, and it shows you like the aftermath of Lilith being resurrected and like the guy that's dead on the. And it's
Mm.
like it's giving
Mhm.
you the backstory to the people. that were going there and why they were going there. And I was like, oh, this is actually really cool. Like giving backstory to characters that I just thought were just a cool cinematic to announce the game.
Mhm.
I mean, Blizzard is really good at making like cool little micro stories, and I've really enjoyed kind of engaging with that. Which I know a lot of Diablo players don't. They skip over all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm getting enjoyment out of the game in a different way than I'd say the typical Diablo player. So
Mm.
yeah, really digging it. I wouldn't necessarily recommend playing it. Like
Yeah.
it's funny, like it's hitting for me, but I don't think it's hitting for the majority of people. So I can't say like there's a guarantee that everyone who picks it up will enjoy it.
Mhm.
Um,
Man,
but
I
I
got
have
my value
enjoyed.
in that game. Holy.
Hey man, I'm playing every day. If you want to drop in, I'm right there.
Right, yeah, no, I'm good.
I wasn't talking to you, Setter. I wasn't talking to you.
Okay. Okay.
I
You're
think
too
I played like
busy.
2 hours of it.
Yeah.
I couldn't. They wouldn't even refund it. The fuckers.
Blizzard knew. Blizzard knew.
Yeah, Blizzard
They
are
knew.
real sticklers for it.
Yeah, they knew,
Um,
bro.
do we want to talk about some? Or Setter, do you want to talk about For the King?
Yeah, so I actually wasn't planning on talking about this game because this is a game that like Shadow gave to me for like $5, and I was like, oh, that's actually a pretty cool game. We one of the like a YouTuber I watched played it, and then we dropped in, we played it, and this is actually really fun. It's a really fun game. So it's an RTS, okay, and basically the whole entire idea is that there's like a bunch of different stories that you could play through. They're all separate from each other, and the very first one is the one that we're doing. And what it is basically, a king has died to a guy, um, and the guy is trying to basically destroy the land. It's very simple stuff, and
This looks turn-based.
it is so it's like
You said RTS.
yeah, it's hard to explain because like it's like RTS, but it's also it has also some turn-based elements into
Or
it
like it
as
looks like
well.
it's got an RTS view when you're in the overworld, but then when you
Yeah,
drill down, it's turn based.
but yeah, but when you are in the open world as well, there is stuff that happens that is very like RTS like, where there are like different factions and whatnot that will play an effect in like timeline events that happen and whatnot.
So
It
if you go to a tile in the open world,
Mhm.
say you kill these guys here, do
Yes.
you take over that tile? Is that what you mean?
You don't take over the tile, but like you are working for the king, and the king does take over, right? It
Okay. Well,
becomes a
yeah, that's the
neutral
same thing.
tile. Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're taking territory.
Yeah, yeah, sort of. You are sort of taking territory, right? And like enemies will take back territory and whatnot, right? Different enemies, factions come up. This guy just ran away, I guess. Okay. Um, but yeah, so basically you're playing it through that way. And overall, this game's really fun. There's like a bunch of different classes in the game that you could start off. So like there are like your normal tanks, your supports, and stuff like that. A bunch of different items that you can play through the game. And Shadow and I have been playing through this together, and this game gets tough. This game gets really tough
Well, because
because
it's like
at
a
the
roguelite, isn't it? Like if you die,
yeah,
that's
it
it.
is. And you like I was when we were playing for the first night, we did like 2 hours in one run and died, and we had to restart from the entirety at the beginning, right? Which like that can be a little bit of a drawback to some people. I personally am okay with it because the thing that's really nice is that you can save and then come back to the run later. So you can it's not all in one go. You can save your run and come back to it
And all the
later.
encounters are randomly generated, right?
Randomly generated, yes. And like you'll start off with like a certain enemy group, and then you can like get a boat and move to a different island. And when you do that, you go to another enemy group and whatnot, and it keeps changing.
Is there an
Um,
aspect where you feel like sometimes RNG fucks you and gives you a really bad opening hand?
yeah, yeah. We have done like 3 different runs, and our third one definitely felt the strongest. Like it definitely felt like we got the best stuff off the start because one thing you can do in this game is there are these shrines, right? And these shrines basically you can devote to them and they'll give you buffs, which is like it will be an XP multiplier, or you get more gold, or you can have better movement and whatnot. So you can like move more tiles in one turn. I got one that gave me I can move 4 more tiles. So usually you can only move 4 tiles, but I was able to move then 8 tiles. So I just sprinted across the entirety of the map, going around completing everything I needed to be possibly completed. And it definitely feels like there is definitely an RNG factor to it, like same with like any roguelike in this aspect.
Sure.
But the game is still really fun. The game is still really fun. Shadow, I have nearly completed the first area. The only reason that we did not complete it last time is because we went into a dungeon and there was an enemy that basically you could only hit if you hit like so if you see on the gameplay that there's like four like there's meters that pop up. So if you see
Mhm.
he'll do an attack and then you'll see it has like the like strong arms right there. You could only hit him if you hit all four, if you actually succeeded on all four of them. So like there he failed one, so you wouldn't be able to hit the guy at all there. And he killed us
So
because
those are those like roll like
yeah, so those are
checks or
roles. So yeah, basically the idea is that those are roles that you are doing. And
it's all automated.
it's all automated. Yeah, it's all automated. And when you click on it, it says like you have like an 80% chance of hitting a target. So you have 80%
Sure.
chance of rolling all correct. And yeah, overall, game really fun. I'm actually really enjoying it. It's really chill, which is nice. It's like it's not something that gets like super he doesn't take super seriously. But yeah, it's very fun. I'm really enjoying it so far. My only complaint about this game is that like the UI is very hard to handle, right? Like you'll open up your inventory, okay? And the only way to open up your inventory is that inside of right here where your character is, there's a little box. You can't really I don't know if you can really see it, but like a little box on the right side of where your health is. You have to click on that. There's no like keybind for it. You have to click on that
Right.
to open up into it, and to get out of it, pressing escape once doesn't do it. You have to press escape like a couple of times for it to register for you to actually get out of it. So
Weird.
yeah,
Yeah, that's really
yeah,
odd.
it's very odd. But then sometimes what will happen is that when you press escape, it will sometimes escape stuff out from inside the game, not your inventory. So your inventory will be up, and it will do stuff in the game while your inventory is up.
Yeah, right.
So it gets very weird. It's a little bit buggy like that, but overall, I'm enjoying the game. It's just a little bit buggy at some points. But
Oh,
yeah,
good
overall, it's
stuff.
good fun. Yeah. Um,
So while we haven't been playing our own games, we all checked out Party Animals last
all
night.
came in unison. Yes.
And so what do we think? What do we think of Party Animals? We
It's
played
Late
it 3
game
hours.
monetization.
I really don't like how it's all online. It really annoys me that it's all online. I kind of wish it was an
Okay,
offline mode.
so I sort of understand the idea of like game launches, servers don't work. I can't play the game because their servers aren't working and there's
Mhm.
no option to play offline.
Yes.
Totally understand that aspect of it. But a lot of games launch and the servers don't work. Like
Yeah, it's just kind of the
maybe
thing,
and
right?
maybe I'm just too used to it. I'm giving them too much slack. But I don't really have that same complaint with
Mhm.
online only games. Like
I do think it's silly that like I know that a lot of games are online only, and it's like, yeah, you start up the game, you have to be online, and pretty like a lot of games are like that these days. But like, if you want to play couch co-op, you're actually playing on a server, and it's like
Yes.
if you're playing couch co-op in anywhere in the southern hemisphere, you've got 150, 200 ping.
Mhm. Mhm.
for now, yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly think I would imagine that at some point there will be offline couch co-op play.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
it's gonna
There's
be
no way they
additive
don't
most
add that.
likely. Yeah, it's gonna be additive eventually. And then like my actual only complaint is no Australian servers, no OCE servers.
Yeah,
That's my
I
only
think
actual complaint.
that's kind of baffling for a game to launch and just ignore the southern hemisphere.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy for a game of any kind of, level with whether it be, indie, double A or triple A, like to ignore that massive, maybe not massive, but that area of the world, like
Mm,
kind of weird, especially as the game's
yeah.
been in development. Like it's been delayed for like 3 years. Like the original release date for this game was 2020. So like it's a bit insane that they just didn't think of it or couldn't justify it. I honestly don't know.
It
It's a
must just be a
really
justification thing. Yeah.
Yeah, be a
really weird
justification thing,
decision.
yeah.
And I hope that now that they're seeing this game is getting like 100,000 players a day, and I'm sure a decent amount of them are
Oh my
Australian,
god.
they will
Sorry.
give us some Australian servers.
Yeah.
Please.
Um,
For
'Cause
reference
otherwise,
for the
like,
viewers, they have 3 nodes: an Asian one, a European one, and a North American one. And that's
yeah,
it.
that's
That's it.
not.
That's all
Yeah,
you get.
that's
So we're
so
getting about
no South
150 ping is
America, no
we're
South
get
American servers,
No
we're
South
getting
America, no Africa,
no African servers.
no Australia.
we're getting about it
That's
yeah.
wild.
So right now
Yeah.
we're getting about 150 ping every time we game, which like we're not feeling. It's like I'm not like if
Sometimes
I
there was one match where I really felt the delay, where I
yes.
would press X and my guy would punch like 1.5 seconds later. So but other times it wasn't as
As
severe.
bad.
It just felt like it kind of mixed in with the jank of the game, the
Yes.
intentional jank of the game.
Yeah, I'd
Mhm.
like to know how it feels without that.
And I
Yeah.
think it'll feel a lot better and be like,
Mm.
"Oh, this is how the game's actually meant to be."
Yeah.
Like, I think
Yeah.
because we don't have any reference for what the game actually feels like, we're just like, "Oh, this is fine." But
Mhm.
the second we move on to, hopefully 20 ping, 30 ping, it'll be a
Should
lot
feel
better.
better. Yeah.
And when you'll be able to actually be able to pick up stuff and actually grab enemies correctly and hit them
Yes.
correctly. And because there's been times where I would definitely press the X button to hit, and then the guy will go past me, and then I'll hit. It's like, okay, well,
Yeah,
I
and I
I
think
can't I can't think
Nathan
1.5 seconds ahead of where the server is. Like, it's just
Yeah,
a bit
and
difficult.
I think Nathan, you also said how you've been struggling to, like, grab people and whatnot as well, because I feel like that delay does
Yeah.
come into it
I'm,
where,
oh,
like
yeah, I'm still not sure if it's just
Yeah, that
how it
or
is or yeah.
Mhm, mhm. But overall,
Yeah, it's a great
I had a
game.
really
It's
good
very
time with
fun.
this game. I had
It
a
is
really good
really,
time with this
really
game. It's
fun.
like,
Yeah.
even with that issue and whatnot, this game is really fun to play. It's like because like basically, so you have your normal punches. You have like a little headbutt, you have a little kick, but then if you had a sprint or a jump into it, you like drop kick or like throw a huge right hook or something like that. And your drop kick's really funny because all your character does is just lunge at them. That's all it
Launches at
is.
them.
Yeah, it is the funniest shit when you see that happen because out of like what happened last night, like we were playing on a map, okay? And we are doing 2v2v2v2. I was on Jamie's team, and then Shadow and Nathan on the other team, and I was beating on Shadow on this map. Okay, then out of nowhere, because I couldn't see Nathan, he just launches at me and
Yeah.
just takes me out, just immediately onto the floor. It's just yeah, this game is really funny. It's really really fun to actually play.
The animations have been like perfectly tuned to be just like the perfect level of goofy.
Yeah,
Like
but it's
the
still
way you punch
responsive.
in this game, where it's just you are just fucking wailing with this
Yeah,
little cute animal. It's like it's the funniest shit. Also, when you get the taser and you tase
Oh, yep.
someone, and then if you get too close to the guy who's tased on the ground, you also get
You get
electrocuted.
tased. Yep,
And there's
yep.
moments where you have like 5 people on the ground just shaking next to each
Yeah,
other. It's like,
last
oh my
night
god,
last night we
man.
had nearly half the lobby
The
in
whole
a pile
lobby.
up. Just
Like there are so many moments where it is just a complete dog pile and it's like
Mhm.
perfectly chaotic. Like
Yeah, it's really funny. It's really, really funny. And like the thing is that's really nice, and it's always a plus for this is open comms, being able to talk to everybody in the lobby.
yeah,
We only really experienced it once last night where everybody was
was
talking.
talking and talking shit and yeah.
But it was really funny because like, hey, chill, 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 like getting picked
Yeah.
up and thrown off the side of a submarine.
In that game,
Like,
we couldn't even understand what they were saying.
yeah,
They're on Asian servers,
no,
so
yeah,
That submarine map is bullshit, but it's
yeah.
also like it's a fun level of bullshit where it's like, man, you might just get thrown off and then try and grab the legends. Like, nah, the water's
Mhm.
just like taking you. It's too quick. Current's too
What
fast.
I think I
what's
killed
also
Shadow like 3 times with a fish.
Yeah,
Oh
what's
my
really
god,
I
the
was gonna say,
fish,
what's
the
really
fucking
funny
fish, dude.
is if you die, you spectate and you could throw stuff. You could throw a fish, a banana, or a bomb, and if the longer you wait, the up the tier
The
it
f-
goes.
Dude,
But
but
the
the fish
fish
is so OP because it's
Yeah,
like if someone's
if you hit him in
climbing
the
and you hit
head
them with a fish, they're
Yeah,
yeah.
knocked down. They're
normally
gone.
normally it's not that great, but the submarine map in particular, it's
Particular, it's
insane.
The
so good.
main
Yeah.
reason is because after a while, each map that's a free for all map has an event to
Like an
where
overtime
something
mechanic.
happens. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the submarine it starts going into the water, so you need
Oh
to start
god, it's
climbing
so
up the
good.
submarine, giving open opportunity for anyone that they want to just throw a fish at your head and knock you
Yeah.
out. And like I remember I was there, and he was like, "Hey Seto," throws a fish at my head. I
Yeah,
climb again.
every
Hey
time. Hey,
Seto,
hey,
does
hey,
it
Jamie,
again.
and then a fish just comes out of nowhere, fucking hits me in the head, and I'm down for the count. That's over.
um,
Oh, that super toxic thing I did to that
yeah,
guy.
yeah,
When we were trying to get this one team to lose because they were about to win, and I
yeah.
fucking grabbed his ass and dragged him out
Oh
into the
my, dude,
ocean.
I would have been screaming if that was me. You just
Yeah.
fucking
And
assisted suicide,
I've got him
grabbed
by
him
the
and took him
legs,
in,
pulling him out.
pulled him
Yeah,
into the
we
fucking
were
freezing ocean, and just like
yeah,
and just stayed there with him.
because yeah, we were playing on the Antarctica map, the one where you're like on an iceberg
And
basically
the
on
and the
a
ice breaks apart. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and then it freezes in the water, and yeah, you're dragging this guy
Just
out.
dragging him into
Shadow
the ocean.
Shadow didn't say anything to me when we were about to win. I fell into the water. Shadow jumps into the water, grabs my
Grabbed him
shoulders,
and
and
just
holds
started
me into
swimming
the
away.
water.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Yeah, I
but
really
no,
like how all the maps have their own kind of like cool dynamic thing to
yes,
it, cool
yeah.
gimmick. Like
What's
I really like I think my favorite is honestly the black hole map.
the black hole is really
I
funny.
really like
Yeah.
that happens, kind of 2 to 3 times around, maybe 2
Mhm.
times.
Mhm.
and it's just like you're holding on for dear life. You got to the
Yeah.
chain is obviously the best way to go about it, but you can grab like any other debris to kind of help you.
Mhm.
Um, and then oh man, everyone just kind of grabbing onto each other to
Mhm.
avoid the black hole
I
to
I
avoid the thing in the middle. Like
I
yeah,
remember when we grabbed onto each other. I think it was Shadow. I grabbed onto Shadow's back and I started beating him in the back of the head. I just started beating him just as we're flying around. What do you call what? But also, what's really cool is that not all the game modes are like free for all game modes. You have
just
team based
fighting.
as
Yeah, yeah.
well. You have team based where it's like we had a hockey one where it's like a big hockey puck and you go
Oh
run
my
up
god, yeah,
and
good.
just like a heavy attack or drop kick and it would fly it away, right? Or you had the electric one where you had like an electric ball where you had to pick up and you hold it for too long, it would discharge and then it would just basically electrocute anyone around and fly away.
There's a really nice amount of variety in the game, I think.
Yes, yeah, it's really
It
cool.
remains to be seen, like, if we start getting a lot of duplicates, if it starts to get boring. But like so far, I'm just like I don't hate playing the same map again.
Yes.
And I
Mhm.
think it is kind of that honeymoon theory where it's like this is all fresh and new and it's fun just to learn the game that
Yeah.
way.
Mhm.
Um, but I mean, who knows what kind of seasonal updates they do, if there's gonna be like a battle pass and like different maps they bring in.
Mhm.
I think this game's gonna be pretty well supported because of how
Yeah.
popular it's been. Like it's
Yeah.
been kind
Yeah,
of the breakout
I reckon
multiplayer hit of the year.
a um like a tiered like competitive thing would be
Oh
sick.
my
So like
god.
you've got like um tiers of people coming in. So you've got like 8, 8, 8, 8, and then they come
Oh,
down
and
into
then
another
they
8,
keep
8, 8,
going.
and then they
Yeah,
come
yeah,
down
they
Like
into
a
keep going
another
tournament
against
8.
each other.
system.
Yeah, yeah,
And they
That'll be
could
tournament side.
sick.
Yeah,
honestly,
that's it.
because they could do like they could do a system where it's like solo competitive, duo competitive, and
Hmm.
4-player competitive,
They
right?
could. Yeah.
Which is similar
Yeah.
to what I think Fall Guys does that now,
Yeah.
right? Don't
Fall
they have a
Guys does have a
competitive mode?
competitive mode. Yeah, they do have a
Yeah,
competitive mode now.
Yeah, I reckon a
Um,
tournament system would be dope.
it would be really
yeah.
cool.
Mm.
But yeah, no, overall, it's very fun. Yeah, as you said, there hasn't been really any map yet where I've been like, oh, I really don't want to play this map. I've enjoyed every map that we played so far.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
trying to think. There was one.
Yeah, you didn't like
uh,
the one in the river with the bridge.
Oh, I
oh,
didn't
that
like
one, yeah, you
the
didn't like
Gator
that one.
Cove with
Yeah,
I played that once and I'm like, I never want to play this again. Because
yeah,
I
you
was
did
getting
not like
so
that one,
unlucky where like I would just be immediately knocked out of the beginning and just fall in the water and then it would just take
and
me
it
out
will
the sea. I'm
sweep
like,
you
I'm
away.
dead.
Yeah,
That's it. I
hmm
died in 5 seconds. Like that's over for
yeah.
me.
um,
Or sometimes Nathan fucking chucked me up fucking halfway across the map because I hit like a
Vroom.
rock and it slid me further. Oh man. I
One
mean,
thing
I
that
was
can
dead regardless, but it just stung a little bit more,
One thing that
It was
can be
so
really
far.
funny about this game, but can be really frustrating, there is friendly fire in the game, which can be so funny, but so frustrating. At one point, Jamie and I were on a team, and then everyone, because you can go different animals, and like there was like 5 people that went like a monkey, okay? And I kept seeing like because they all the same. I think they're all like black
Kind
monkeys.
of the
Like,
default
yeah,
skin.
it was a default skin, and I kept seeing one, not realizing it was Jamie, and I'll just right hook him and then run away,
Bro,
and I kept
it
doing
was
that.
amazing how consistent I was at punching my teammates. Where
Yeah.
it is a group of people, and somehow my right hook just happens to find
Yeah.
Nathan or Shadow or Seto. It's
Yeah.
like, man,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just getting really unlucky with my hits where you just happen to be connecting with my fist at the right moment. Like, I'm not trying to do this.
Shadow was definitely the most notorious of it, though. Shadow was the most
No,
notorious of it.
Shadow,
Yeah.
I don't think he was doing it on by accident. I
Yeah,
think
they
there were
did.
moments where he was purposely griefing the team
Yeah.
and
But no, like
one negative I will say about this game is I think so far the monetization seems a bit excessive,
I was gonna say the same thing as well. Like, there's loot boxes, which is like iffy to
which
me.
is
It's
yeah,
weird.
paid where
Like,
you
Can't
can
even get
pay
away with
for
that
them.
anymore.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
really, really odd. And I know they'll
it's
probably say like,
weird.
"Oh, you can get them for free," but it's like, yeah, but the fact that you can pay for them is a bit
It's
like who would?
weird.
Who would really
Yeah.
go for those unless there's stuff that's and this would be egregious if there was stuff that's exclusively in those loot boxes that you can't
Mm.
that won't show up in the item shop. Um,
But you can earn them, so
yeah, I guess, but that's
slowly.
But
literally what
that's
Battlefront
been
2 did. Like it's
yeah, that's
actually
been
the same
Tale all the
and
time,
obviously
right?
different. They're not gameplay modifiers. They're just
Yeah.
cosmetics. But I still think like loot boxes in general, they're a bit old fashioned. Like I think at this point,
Yeah.
we sort of moved past the loot box era, and they're sort of not well regarded by anyone except for the people that just
Mm.
want to sink fuck tons of money into a game.
I think I'd be
Mhm.
okay
Um,
with it if it was free to play, but the fact you have to pay for the game and that's got
You pay
that sort of
$30.
monetization, it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird.
it is definitely a choice, and I hope they open up other avenues of getting skin. And I know they already have that in the game. Like, there's achievements that have cosmetics attached to them. Your play animal rank goes up every match, which is nice. In custom matches, it also goes up,
It also
which I
goes
think is
up,
very
which is cool.
cool.
Mhm.
That even if if we're not playing versus randoms, we can still kind of like engage with that progression system. I
Mhm.
like that stuff. That's cool. I guess they kind of figured like, you probably could,
Not easily, yeah, but
just go
doesn't
back and
really matter.
forth. But it's like, okay, well,
Yeah,
you get a new unicorn skin, like big
yeah.
whoop, like who cares?
Congratulations.
Yeah, exactly. You played yourself, but you didn't play the game.
If they release like an
Um,
official battle pass, they might make it online only. But
I could imagine the battle pass, oh yeah,
yeah,
only being it from quick play matches. And
Mhm.
I'm really curious how they're going to support the game. Because I think it's definitely a great foundation, but also a really good starting point that I think is can really be effectively built off of. And yeah, I'm really excited to play more because it is honestly so much fun.
It
Like
is
just
really
an
fun. Like,
insane amount of
even, like,
fun.
the little bit of, like, times where, like, I felt like we were getting annoyed, I'd still like, it was still fun, you know what I mean? Like, it was still fun going through
It's
that and then
definitely
still
not
finding.
a game you can take seriously. Because like
No,
if
not at
it comes
all.
up
If you
taking
look at it right
seriously, you're
now,
gonna get really mad.
yeah,
Like,
look
you're
at it
gonna get
right
really
now. Look
angry
at this. How
and
can you
shit.
take this shit seriously,
Like,
right? You can't. There's a guy
dude, okay,
there's an otter with a
one
tennis
thing about
racket.
that map, they need to make it so the gas is easily visible when you're actually playing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like there were
because
moments where I was spectating and I'm like, "Seta, you're just standing in this poison."
yeah,
Like
exactly, I couldn't tell.
you are in the fucking poison.
Yeah.
You are suffocating right now and you don't know it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But, like,
no,
the one thing about this game, there's also maps we have not experienced yet. There's one called, like, For the Game or In the Game or something like that yet. There's that one. There's one other map we actually have not played yet.
yeah. And there's actually
And
maps that are only so when we play there's some that are 8-player maps, but there's also some that are 4-player maps.
oh, yep, yep.
Like smaller scale maps when you play solo. So there's stuff
Mhm,
that obviously we won't experience together, but if you play solo, you'll see them.
mhm.
Yeah, I'm excited to play more because
Yeah.
it's just
It's just
stupid fun.
fun. Yeah, it's
And
just
I think
really fun.
honestly, this might win best multiplayer of the year. I
I
honestly think it might. Like I think it'll be nominated at
I could see
least.
it.
yeah,
I could
maybe.
see it. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like other multiplayer games this year.
Redfall.
Yeah,
Like
that's a good
there's
point.
not, there's the typical like Call of Duty, Valorant, or whatever, but
But this is just
um
fun. This is just fun, you know what I
it's
mean?
just
Like,
something new, and I think it's kind of taken the world by storm a little bit. So,
it has. It has. It's very
um,
funny. It is
yeah,
very, very funny.
and I think
Um,
if they can kind of pull back on the monetization a little bit, and Australian servers like
Yeah,
that needs
servers are
to
the most
be
important one.
servers, get that up
within like
going.
I would hope within a month.
Yeah, get those servers going.
But hey, they got a shit ton of money, so hopefully they
Exactly.
see the outrage surely.
Yes. Give us a server.
Um, but yeah, lots of games this week, and I did not get to talk about Resident Evil 4 Separate Ways, which I will talk about next week because I haven't finished it yet.
Mhm.
And I haven't even gotten to play Cyberpunk 2.0 yet.
Oh, true.
So much. There's so many games. Too little time.
Mhm.
Anyways, uh, do you guys hear that? Do you hear that noise? Do you hear a faucet? A leak? Man, it was big old big old fucking leak this week. Fucking Microsoft, man, over here leaking their own stuff. So this is the main topic because I think this is like one of the
This is
biggest
big.
leaks ever
Yeah.
in gaming. Like they leaked. You've got the upcoming Bethesda schedule. You've got an Xbox Series X refresh. You've got the next generation of Xbox. A whole bunch of details on like Xbox franchise playtime and Game Pass prices of how much it costs for certain AAA games to be included in Game Pass, which is very interesting stuff. So I want to start off with the slate of Bethesda games. So I'm reading from The Verge. Before it was acquired by Microsoft, ZeniMax Media, the parent company of studios like Bethesda Game Studios and id Software, was working on remasters of The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, Fallout 3, and a new entry in the Doom franchise, according to new documents revealed as part of the FTC versus Microsoft. The games were included in a July 2020 Microsoft presentation about the then potential ZeniMax acquisition. And so this is the list of the games. Unannounced games in the presentation include the Oblivion remaster, which we did talk about a couple weeks back of it being a rumor. So this is kind of confirmation. Uh, Doom Year Zero and DLC for fiscal year 2023 and a second set of DLC in fiscal year 2024. The Fallout 3 remaster, a sequel to Ghostwire Tokyo, Dishonored 3, which is big news as
That's
well.
big. That's big.
And a bunch of other titles for console and PC, without specific names, including the Indiana Jones game, which we already knew about, Project Kestrel, and an expansion, no idea what that is, Project Platinum, and a vaguely named licensed IP game.
I'm so excited for the licensed IP game.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna pop
Holy
off.
generic licensed
Yeah.
IP game. I can't wait.
Yeah, go so excited.
So my question is anything here piquing your interest? Is there anything that?
3?
What'd you say?
Dishonored
Dishonored
3.
3?
Yeah, I feel like yeah.
I think
Dishonored-
Fallout 3 remaster is gonna be dope, dude.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty sick as
now
well.
I'm once again it's with the wording. Like, are we talking remake?
Your
Is a
remaster.
remaster just
That's true. 'Cause the
4K
gunplay is
4K?
pretty horrid. So
I would hope they're using the remaster as companies like Nintendo use remaster and Activision use remaster, because they consider like the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2 remasters. They're like
right.
way
Okay.
different.
That's
And
like a
and like Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy was also considered a remaster. This is a complete redesign of like how it looks. So hopefully that's what Fallout 3 gets. And I think it does need a gameplay overhaul too. I think it needs to
Definitely.
just if it feels like, well, I was gonna say Fallout 4, but I would hope it kind of feels like Starfield, to be honest. I would hope they take into
Yeah.
account how Starfield feels for gunplay. But who knows? Because this was set for fiscal year 2024. It's obviously been pushed back quite a lot. Because on this list I saw like Starfield was set for 2021. Like, well, did not
No.
hit that date. Did not hit then.
I-
But yeah, Dishonored 3 is big.
Yeah.
That's exciting. I don't
I-
see there's no Prey 2 here, which is disappointing.
It's unfortunate. I do love how like 3 weeks ago we were talking about how an Oblivion remake would be awesome, and then and then
Well, yeah, it
comes
was a rumor that
Yeah.
that a support studio was working on it, and I guess there's your
was true.
confirmation that it's
Yeah,
happening.
it was true.
To be fair, this is obviously a July 2020 presentation, so who knows if these are still in development. I
Yeah.
think Doom Year Zero is an interesting title. I'm assuming it's some kind of, I was gonna say reboot, but they kind of just did a reboot. So like, I guess they're doing another one. And the fact that there's 2 sets of DLC is like, okay, they're really looking to support this game. I'm not sure in what kind of sense that will be. If it's like story expansions or God forbid multiplayer, please don't do
No,
that.
please don't do that again. Please don't do that again.
And yeah, I'm really surprised that they were planning for a sequel to Ghostwire Tokyo. I'm honestly, of all the things on this list, I think that is the one of the likely things to get cut, because kind of came and went. Like Ghostwire
it did.
Tokyo, like that was the one where it was like really
I didn't
generic
hear
open world
anyone
stuff.
talk about it.
No,
Yeah, I mean, I
that
played
was
it and I
great.
was like, "Woof, man, this is fine. It's over." I did regret buying it for sure. And I think honestly they should just focus on Hi-Fi Rush.
That came out this
So,
year, right?
No, last year.
No,
Yeah, it was
last year. Okay, cool. Sorry, that's the thing.
God, if it came out, I had
Yeah.
like flashbacks, and then I was like, "Was it this year?"
Yeah, I
Um,
know. Yeah,
And also surprisingly, no Evil Within 3 on here either.
true.
Which is that's
true.
the oh god, the developer of Ghostwire
Hmm.
and Hi-Fi Rush, like that's not on here, which is interesting.
Mhm.
What do you think these projects could be? Project Kestrel, Project Platinum. Do you have any idea what these possibly could be? I kind of hope that I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know what, but I mean, I hope one of them is Wolfenstein 3, but like I don't know. I feel like they would probably just put Wolfenstein 3 here, you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Project Platinum. I know Kestrel, like, and an
Bird,
expansion.
Yeah, Bird.
bird
Yeah.
expansion.
They
I
had
have no
Bird.
idea. I can't think of anything that's connecting Bethesda and birds.
No idea.
No idea. No idea. Honestly,
idea.
vaguely named licensed IP game.
Yeah, that one. We know what that is.
I honestly, as I said, I would
We do?
really
We do?
dig an id Software like Mandalorian game.
That
I
could be
would
cool.
love to see them handle something different. Obviously, probably do third person, not first person. You could also, I mean, honestly, they should get the team that does Gears of War to do a Mandalorian game. That would be really
That'll
dope.
be cool.
Anyway, any other thoughts on this? Happy to move on.
It's cool.
It's cool stuff.
It's cool
It's
stuff.
unfortunate it's all leaked.
Yeah,
I know
exactly,
it's
right?
cool when they get to do the whole like lead up to these announcements and all this stuff, and like it is unfortunate that it does get leaked. But obviously, this is 3 years old, so who knows? This was obviously all subject to change. So the leak also revealed new cylindrical Xbox Series X refresh coming in 2024. So this is from Paul Tassi for Forbes. We've learned an incredible amount about both Microsoft and Sony from documents of internal emails and communications in these cases. But the most recent one, the FTC versus Microsoft case, has just revealed an entirely new Xbox Series X, supposedly coming in November 2024. So what's being upgraded? It is not a massive power upgrade the way a Pro refresh may be, a notion Microsoft has previously discounted, even though a PS5 Pro was reportedly planned from Sony. However, these are indeed upgrades to the console. More internal storage, 2 terabytes, a faster Wi-Fi, so it's Wi-Fi 6E radio, poggers, I guess.
That's a good
Reduce
upgrade.
It is. And honestly, like I do notice with like downloading games, it is way slower on Series X versus on PS5. So, and I think PS5 does have Wi-Fi 6E. So
6E's
Um,
your router probably doesn't even support it, but it's basically so that more than one client can communicate with the router with the access point at the same time, rather than it having to wait for an open space. You can intercommunicatively go. Zzz. Anyway,
I like that's good technical
Yeah.
jargon there.
Zzz.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Reduced power usage. Its new standby mode uses 20% power of the current mode, which is very
Oh, that's
impressive.
fantastic.
A more immersive controller, which has its own slide and includes a rechargeable battery, new thumbsticks, haptic feedback, quieter buttons, and an accelerometer for gyro use. The controller can be used with current Series X's naturally. That's probably the most exciting thing here.
Yeah, that's a good upgrade.
It's a haptic feedback, similar, I'm assuming, to the DualSense with the new controller. Quieter buttons is very, very useful because holy shit, these
They're
things
loud,
are
eh?
so clicky.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Mine- yeah, mine are
Ridiculous.
clicky actually. Yeah,
Mine are
It's
really clicky.
crazy. I honestly, and particularly after playing Mortal Kombat 1, I vastly prefer the PS5 controller now because I think it just feels just a lot better. And even like, look, this is the D-pad. Like even the D-pad is clicky too. Like it's like we don't need the clicks. We don't need the clicks that much. Like if I don't have headphones on, I'm hearing
you
mostly
think
controller.
yours is clicky?
Oh my god! Yeah, it's clicking up. Yeah, it's so. Yeah, this is honestly, I will probably not buy this refresh because it's just more storage and the reduced power usage is cool, but I'm definitely more of the kind of person that'll
Probably
go for
not
the
worth the amount that you're going to save on power.
exactly. But I will get a new controller. I will 100% get one with the haptic feedback and the accelerometer and all this stuff.
Yeah, I
Rechargeable
assume they'll
battery.
release another the controller we have.
Elite.
Elite, yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna buy another Elite. I keep having to buy
You've
this.
bought all of them.
You bought all of them.
I've bought 3. Like the Elite 1 broke. Elite Series. Now, to be fair, I got another Elite Series 2 because it was the Halo one, and
I'm still rocking the
moron.
Gen 1, bro. She's
And
chilling.
the Gen. Well, I'll show you my Gen 1. I think I threw it. Oh no, it's down here.
My Gen 1 also got destroyed. My Gen 1 got destroyed.
Yeah, they got a
But
bad
never mind.
reputation.
It's not in the case. I don't know where it is. It's not in here. Don't know where it is. That's my Gen 1 accessories though. But basically, the Gen 1 controller, the grips just fell off it. So I was like, well, this is useless now.
Like the back, like these gray bits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was just like,
yeah, same. They fell off for me as well.
It's not that hot in here. Like, I don't know why they're just like slipping off. Like, I don't know what happened.
My thumbstick's completely broke, but I just bought some new ones.
See, and that's what they do. They do that now. They do packs, like packs of the.
Oh, I bought them off eBay. It was like $3.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with like Xbox controllers, but like, I don't know if you see this, but look at the fucking wear and tear on this. You probably won't see it.
Yeah,
But, like,
the thumbsticks go smooth immediately, man.
Yeah, it's
like-
smooth, but also the rubber is literally coming off.
I
Like,
have
it's all busted.
like the original Xbox One controller, like the
Yeah.
not Elite one, and I barely used it because I had an Elite controller from like the day it came out.
Oh.
And the thumbstick rubber is like missing. I don't even use it.
I don't remember the 360 controllers wearing and tearing this much.
Not that quickly, no.
No.
I have a 360 arcade controller that's missing quite a bit on the thumbsticks, but like that's really old.
Yeah. Because I never had this issue. I remember like going to my cousin's place to play like Halo 3 in like split screen, and their fucking their 360 thumbsticks were literally like the thumbstick came off and it was just like the bottom mechanism. It was awful to use. Like it was always like the fucking, that was classic player 4 would have that shitty fucking controller.
You always knew one dude that had like the fucking chewed up thumbsticks, like a fucking mouth that he
It's
had.
like, why are they
Your dog
eating their
ate it.
controllers?
Yeah.
Stop eating it. But yes, controller very cool. I was gonna say, do you think Microsoft opting to not make a pro version is a mistake?
Eh,
I don't know.
Considering
It's already fine. I mean, like,
yeah.
I think it'll remain to be
But-
seen once the PS5 Pro comes out.
that's the problem. Is like
Yeah.
you're gonna see even more of a gap. Like
Yeah.
because even now, like even though the Series X has like more teraflops or whatever, PS5 typically runs games a lot smoother, like frame rate wise. And I think that's maybe because a lot of developers they bump the internal like the like the gate for the dynamic resolution is a lot higher on Series X, but then the frame rate drops. So it's like I think I'd rather just have the resolution be lower so it sticks to 60 more often. So yeah, I don't know. I'm it's definitely an interesting move. And I think it honestly is maybe even more the fact that they just want to make sure people keep supporting the Series S.
Mm.
Like if they made a Series X Pro, like
Yeah, that's true. That'll be
it's
really
even
far
more
off.
of a gap. It makes it
Yeah.
even harder for developers to work on Series S. And
Free
I don't know
consoles
if
now.
I have it here, but internally, the Series S accounts for 75% of new gen Xbox consoles
Yeah, definitely.
sales, which is crazy.
It's a fantastic deal. It's a great deal.
That is wild.
They're so cheap.
Because I've always been thinking, like, with the Baldur's Gate 3 issues where they just couldn't get split screen running on Series S. So it
Mm.
wasn't releasing on Series X because of it. Because they were like, because they always ask for parity feature wise between
Did
both
they
consoles.
really not release it at all?
It is not on Xbox Series X right now.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Because Xbox Microsoft was like, for the longest time they were like, nah, we need feature parity between Series S and Series X. Frame rate and resolution, obviously not the case, but when it comes to like split screen, they expect it on both. Turns out Phil Spencer and the head of Larian had a discussion, and now they've dropped it. So
Yeah, that's fair.
I think they saw the reviews and they're like, "Fuck, we need this game out. We need this on Xbox. Like this is a huge deal." And the fact that it's not here, and
Had to happen eventually, right?
it was going to happen
Like
eventually.
it was underpowered when it came out, so
exactly.
yeah.
Like, and I wonder if more of this is going to happen, where they'll be like, they're going to try and strong arm developers, and developers will be like, well, we just can't release the game, and they'll be like,
Yeah.
oh shit, okay.
It's Xbox, it's X or nothing. Like we can't do the S anymore. Yeah.
And they are releasing, so they are releasing Baldur's Gate 3 this year on X and S. S just won't have split screen. So
yeah, I assume so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
which is fine because I don't know. I don't know if I would necessarily hit Baldur's Gate in split screen. It's cool that it's there, but I'm not sure if it's necessarily like. I feel like I want to get fully immersed in it. But I guess if you're playing with someone, it's a cool way to do it.
Yeah. I'd probably do it if I would do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do not like how it looks though.
The split
It's
screen?
given me fucking no the Xbox console.
Oh yeah, the cylinder.
Given
Oh
me
my God,
Mac
yeah.
trash can kind of vibes.
Slash like Alexa fucking speaker look.
It looks like a Bluetooth speaker. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like a Bluetooth
I
speaker.
wonder if it's because from the photo you can't really, and I didn't put it in the doc because I don't know if you can show this stuff internal documents. I feel like the Microsoft will get real mad at people for doing that.
Probably.
They probably wouldn't for us, but anyway,
Yeah, they'll never fucking see it, dude.
They'll never see it, but I wonder how big it is. Like, because I imagine it's the fact that they're getting rid of the disk drive seems like it's a smaller form factor. I wonder if it's just going to be like a little itty bitty thing. I don't know.
It's big. Imagine like this
No,
big.
bigger than that.
I think it'll be bigger than that.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be.
Well, that's pretty big.
Yeah,
That's big.
Yeah.
That's about the size of the X. Yeah, I'd say probably take a couple of inches off the top and then just, but it'll be like it would be like the same width, but just if it was a circle instead of a square, which will be a lot smaller, obviously. But
I'm hoping they have revised the design, to be honest. I don't necessarily like how it looks. I think they should just keep the Xbox being a box.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
I actually really like how the Series X looks. I think it looks great.
It's pretty nice. It's very unassuming.
I hadn't seen it until I went to Liam's house a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, is that what that looks like?
Yeah. And it's, man, that's PS5, man. It's
I hate it.
It's out there.
really
it's out there for sure. They really wanted this to be a centerpiece of your entertainment unit. And I know that you put behind the TV. Like
it's the only place it'll fit because it's so big. It doesn't fit in my entertainment console.
I like the look of the PS5. It's just so big. Like,
I personally didn't. I don't like the white black duo kind of look to it. Which is why now I've got the Spider-Man.
I was gonna say I have the Spider-Man plates. So yeah, like that. I like that more.
I got one qualm with the controller and the plates. The red on the controller is a different red to the red on the plates.
Yes,
and I'm like, why? But I think it's a different material, and I think that's maybe why.
It would be a wear thing. On skin.
And I'm like, just some consistency would have been nice because I immediately noticed. I was like, fuck you,
damn it,
god damn it. Obviously, the controller is not going to be next to the console a lot of the time anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But that I honestly really like how the plates look. They look a lot better in person than they did like when they initially revealed it. Anyways, the last big leak story, and there's a little bit of extra stuff, but this is the last big main thing, Microsoft's next Xbox coming 2028 envisions hybrid computing. This is from Sean Hollister for The Verge. So I kind of cut the top of this off, so it's just this is continuing on. The documents may also reveal Microsoft's far future plans for 2028, by which the company believed it could achieve full convergence of its cloud gaming platform and physical hardware to deliver cloud hybrid games.
Yeah.
Our vision: develop a next-generation hybrid game platform capable of leveraging the combined power of the client and cloud to deliver deeper immersion and entirely new classes of game experiences. Microsoft calls the idea cohesive hybrid compute, a cloud-to-edge architecture across silicon, graphics, and OS, enabling ubiquitous play. So yeah.
It would be
I mean,
incredibly complex from an engineering standpoint.
Mhm.
I'm not sure that it would be worth the outcome.
yeah, I was gonna say, like,
Yeah,
do you
like, are
think
they
so?
gonna get
I
much
mean,
back? Are they gonna
from
get
the
much
sound
back
of
for
this, sounds like this will have to be an always online console
Well, absolutely, yeah.
if the games are
Yeah,
built to
100%.
support this hybrid compute
Unless they
model.
have an
Like,
offline mode
I mean, but yeah,
for
I
like
don't know.
Australia.
Do you think this is the right idea? Do you think this is
Yeah,
the right
like,
move
well,
to,
here's the thing.
to depend on the internet?
No.
Here's the thing, like, if that's the case for me, I am fucked. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have good internet.
Now, to
I've
be
only
fair,
just
there
tried it.
are already use cases for this hybrid system. They used it in
Okay.
Flight Simulator. Um,
Oh, yeah.
True.
so like
Yep.
Flight Sim, you know, if you're offline, the
Streamed
game
in.
actually looks a lot worse
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
than if you're online playing and streaming the textures over. And depending on your network connection is depending on how
But
good it looks.
that wasn't so much to save on. That was more a disk based thing than an actual like it being
Sure.
able to run thing.
Yes.
Yeah, but it sounds like the way they're saying this isn't to save disk space, but to actually leverage the
Yeah,
hardware capacity of a data
yeah,
center.
to even it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you assume games are going to look better based on this. Like they're
Yeah,
going to.
exactly. Yeah.
100%.
But I think, well, to be fair, I think Flight Sim was doing both. Like
Well, it
it
was just streaming in Bing Maps.
sure.
And you
Yeah,
could
I guess the
obviously
quality of
download
the
the entire
plane is
Bing
the
Maps database.
same.
Well, actually, yeah, you could download sections of your map.
You could.
Yeah, it was fucking massive, but you could do it.
I think it's honestly it's a mix of, I think it's both graphics and space. Where
Yeah.
like it's all because
Well,
the way
yeah,
they
one on
say
each other, yeah.
deliver, they're here to deliver entirely new classes of game experiences. I think massive open worlds that just like kind of go on forever is only really possible with this kind of streaming technology. Like you
Yeah.
couldn't
Yeah,
do
like
this.
actual, like open world experiences that aren't not like regenerated with code, like actual built experiences. Yeah,
Like I could imagine like a Starfield where
Starfield that's built. Yeah, yeah,
it's generating like where you could do without the loading times. It is just I mean it's how No Man's Sky works basically, where
yeah,
but
but
it's coming it's
not randomly generated. Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I said here, do you ever see yourself buying an Xbox again? And
No.
to be honest, there's no real reason to. There's no real reason to buy an Xbox
If
ever again.
you
But I think that's by design. I
you
think
got
they
a
know that
PC. If you got a
exactly.
nice
PC,
You
that
got a
they've done
PC.
that, yeah.
If you've got a phone, you got cloud. So
Yeah, true. You're good.
um,
Good.
yeah, I mean, by 2028, we'll see how the internet situation is, but that's only 5 years away.
Yeah, it's not that far.
And like we already saw how it went with the Xbox One, where they were like always online console.
I
And
don't
it's
think
like,
Australia's internet will ever be in a lot of places will ever be good enough
No.
for something like that. But
yeah,
that will have to be an option. I don't think they'd ever make that like a forced thing because that's like always online
I mean,
console to the next level.
I mean, they tried to with the Xbox One. Like I think, and honestly,
Well, always
I
online console is fine because it's like you just have to be able to ping a server basically.
Sure.
But like this is like you need to actually have a good connection that's stable
and
and
consistent.
you can't play your
Yeah.
game if you can't.
Yeah, I'm honestly very interested in this kind of move. And because I imagine Sony is going to go the opposite. I don't think Sony is going to be
Yeah, I
leveraging their
can't see them
cloud.
doing that. Yeah.
It's just not as good. Like
I think some really cool project ideas could come out of this, but yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
sure as a whole if it would be worth it.
and I'm also kind of worried, like if this will be a lot of promises of what this could be versus like it actuating.
For sure.
You know,
yeah.
like I think it could be like, oh, like I can imagine them revealing this console and showing like these are the experiences we're testing, and it's like, well, these
But a developer will
they're
never
just
make that.
yeah, exactly. They're just demos to show
Yeah.
like the possibilities. Like when they showed like Connect with
Mm.
like, oh yeah, you can scan your skateboard in, and it's in the
Yeah.
game. It's like that
Sick.
never released. That never
Yeah.
happened. Like, oh yeah, you can scan in. Oh, you can talk to Milo. Remember Milo, the fucking
Milo, the dog.
project? No, Milo, the human, the human.
Milo.
Wait,
being the
wait, was
boy.
it a dog? Was it a
No, no,
Bro, I
no,
don't
no.
remember
That's
Milo.
Connectimals. That's different.
Connectimals was
Oh.
lit.
Project
was good,
Milo
man.
was a you would talk to this boy, ask it questions, and it would realistically talk back to you.
Ain't no way.
And in this tech demo, they showed this woman passing an object through the
hell?
TV to Milo. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah, I remember that
come
now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember.
That is
yeah.
not happening. That's not real. So yeah, that was Project Milo, and it was complete bullshit. And I feel like it could be on that level where they're just making shit up. At this point, they're like, oh, this is the possibility of what it could be, but it never will be.
Do you remember when the Connect got announced and all of like the insane shit they said you could do and whatnot? And
I
how
remember when they showed a surgeon doing brain surgery with the
even with the
Kinect.
Kinect.
It's not that accurate. Holy shit. What were they thinking?
I mean, to be fair, if there's some stores in the US where their security cameras are Kinects because
They
they're
are.
so
I mean,
cheap. They're so cheap.
They have a lot of really good open source uses now because
Yeah.
they cost nothing and they're USB. It's great. Yeah.
It's because I saw a Reddit post where someone said my local supermarket has a Kinect for its sensor at the door, and it was just this fucking box with this Kinect in it. Like, what
That's
the
really
fuck?
funny.
What a
That's
weird
really funny.
situation.
That's so funny.
But yeah, very interested to see what the future's like. I'm not sure if Australia's gonna be ready for that future.
Nope.
That's
I don't
I
think
can
probably
guarantee
not
our
the
internet has
country
no
we live in.
significant upgrade over that time.
No, I mean we'll probably be okay.
Oh yeah, I mean we'll still have the same speeds that we have now, I would say.
I'll
But,
probably
yeah.
upgrade by then.
No, I
Probably.
mean like
Oh,
physically
I see.
what we're supported as. I don't think we would be able to get anything different.
Well,
in
I
5
mean
years' time.
technically we can support gigabit.
Yeah, I have gigabit right now. I
Yeah,
can get
exactly.
it, but I don't think it's getting any better than that in 5 years.
But do you think it will have to be better than gigabit?
It's not so much the speed; it's just
Consistency.
the consistency of the connection, the latency, and also just that sort of stuff only works if you have a server really close.
Sure.
And Australia is very difficult with that because we have a lot of tiny population centers across the whole country.
Oh, I don't
It's
give a fuck about them. I'm talking about me.
Yeah, but like
Am
that's
I
what I mean.
okay?
On a world scale, we're a tiny population center.
We are,
Like,
yeah,
a
we
million
are,
people.
Mhm.
That's like nothing.
Yeah. Very interesting. Microsoft just put more servers in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
just
They're
one
gonna
in
have
every
to
square
just
kilometer.
upscale their infrastructure for Australia. Easy.
Yeah.
So there were some little like cool tidbits about Xbox players and like how much Xbox is paying for games on Game Pass, or how much they would estimate how much they think they would pay, based on a whole bunch of variables that I have not written down here, but it's the typical stuff. I headline this: Destiny fans are obsessed with Destiny.
Yes.
Mainly because like there was this chart, this slide that was leaked that was about from 2015 to 2019 the top 20 most engaged Xbox franchises. And it was based on a whole bunch of statistics like total hours played, monthly average users, and then average annual playtime of the typical user, the average, right? And so obviously you kind of expect Fortnite to be at the top. That makes sense. You got 10 billion hours, average playtime 212 hours, which I just think these are insane numbers to me.
Yeah. Oh, it's insane. It's insane.
And as you said, Nathan, like the median would be less, right?
Yeah, definitely, because they've got a lot of players.
Exactly. But yeah, it's very, very interesting that all these, a lot of the games, Call of Duty 219 hours, FIFA 247, GTA 233, which I'm very surprised by.
Whoa.
People still playing GTA Online a lot.
Yeah.
To be fair, this was
Grinding.
2015 to 2019, so this is just
this is
a
like
few years into the life
2
cycle of
years
GTA
afterwards,
Online.
yeah.
Peak. Yeah.
Yeah. Minecraft, 127, which is a little less than I was expecting. But that's more like a kids game. I could see kids playing less games, not being as obsessed with them. Halo 112, Fallout 218, Elder Scrolls 262, which I'm very surprised by. Elder Scrolls 262. Now, is that
Maybe ESO.
okay?
Yeah.
Or
that
is
makes
that
more sense.
every Elder Scrolls game?
Well, see, that's what, because they've got Fallout here as well. Is that Fallout
which one?
76?
Yeah.
Or is that Fallout 4? Or is that just both? I would assume it's just the whole. It's this franchise, so I think it's just everything.
Would have to be everything then, yeah.
And then I was interested that there is a one outlier here, and that's Destiny. In Destiny, the average annual playtime on Xbox is 420 hours.
That's fucking crazy.
That is
That is
nuts.
that is so much.
That is so much.
That is like the- I-
It's an insane. It's insanely above everything else here.
Yeah, it's
You
an
know, like
hour a day.
Overwatch. Yeah,
Every day. Like just over an hour a day every day. Every day of the year.
and as I said just before the podcast, like the game's just designed to be that.
yes.
You know, it's just that's how it works. It's just meant to be obsessive. Which is a bit scary. How effective they are at it.
Very.
But yeah, I just think it's just very interesting to see kind of these average annual play times. So there's a lot of other things here, like Tom Clancy's see. It says Tom Clancy's as a franchise. Do they mean
Yeah,
Division, Rainbow Six?
I guess
I
so.
mean all of it. I mean every
I
Tom Clancy. I
guess
wouldn't
they
even
mean
consider
all of
Tom
it,
Clancy as
yeah.
a franchise.
Yeah, neither.
I guess they mean all of it.
I would consider Rainbow Six to be the franchise and the Division to be a franchise. But yeah, interesting. So and it's 213 hours, which is I'd say that's accurate, especially with
Probably mostly Rainbow
Age.
Six.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised that Red Dead Redemption's on here. I want to see Red Dead Redemption if they want to listen age franchises.
And that's Red Dead Redemption only a year of Red Dead Online.
Yeah, right. That's pretty insane.
I'm guessing maybe Red Dead 1. But like
Thrown
that's
in there as well.
2015, that's 5 years after the game came out.
Like I can see Overwatch because 2015, 2019, you know, like that's the first 3 years, 4 years of when Overwatch came out. So I
It's
can see
lower than I was expecting though.
True.
165?
True. Yeah, that's pretty low. Yeah. I can see that.
How many
in 2016.
players were at monthly
1.9.
average users? 1.9 million. Overwatch is a very PC centric franchise, I feel
It
like.
is
Though.
very PC.
I feel like it's way more centered. I mean, I'm sure there's like double that many players on PlayStation, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
still not I wouldn't consider it a game that I'd necessarily play on console. I mean, any FPS, but I think Overwatch particularly because there's no aim assist on console.
Oh yeah, there
of
is.
Overwatch.
Yeah, there
And
is.
there's not for Rainbow Six either, which is like Jesus. That's why you got so many cracked little kid gamers now because they're all playing these games with no aim assist. We were
So they're just
on
used to
baby
it.
mode back in the
The
day
second
playing
they
Call
get
of
aim
Duty.
assist, they're like, whoa.
Oh, I've
Yeah.
got aim hacks.
They got
Yeah.
aim hacks.
Yeah, so I just thought that was interesting. Just
That's
a cool kind of little stat. It's a cool peek behind the curtain on like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, too.
Another interesting kind of stat was like how much Xbox estimates the cost of AAA games if they were going to get them on Game Pass.
Bro, some
and
of them are insane.
These are fucking ridiculous. Like you've got stuff like Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, 35 million. That's fair enough.
Yes.
You got Just Dance, 5 million. Sure. You got Baldur's Gate 3 is very low on here. Only 5
I
million.
thought that'd be more, but you know,
But I think this is pre Baldur's Gate coming out.
Definitely.
yes,
And
Definitely.
it would be
this
more
was
now.
this was like earlier this year. So I assume it would probably
be more now.
it'd probably be 5 times that
Yeah,
now.
10
at
times.
least.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 times. Yeah. Gotham Knights, 50 million. Assassin's Creed Mirage, 100 million.
Mm.
That's wild.
Whoa.
Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, 250 million.
Yeah, no.
I think that would be a little less now.
Yeah, a little
but this
less.
was, maybe this was pre them showing the gameplay for the game. Mortal Kombat 1, 250 million. That's insane.
Yeah.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor,
300.
300 million. And I saw
buddy.
one of the variables they mentioned about this is just next to it, they said the crown jewel. So like they know like
They
it's
know
Star
it's good.
Wars, it's EA's like premier
Yeah.
fucking single player franchise. They're gonna want sales on this game, so I can understand it being that much. But that is a wild, like that is insane. And then you've also got Rockstar Games here, 5 million per month for Red Dead Redemption 2, 12 to 15 million a month for GTA 5.
Oh my god.
And that's current. Like GTA 5 right now.
I suppose that's just like a percentage of their sales a year. So a
Yeah.
month. Yeah, it makes sense.
That's insane. Like
I could not have predicted
What-
that it would be this much.
what's insane to me is that like this is the cost, but that means that like they wouldn't make the money off Game Pass to do this. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm wondering is like, do they make enough to justify
Subscription
this?
services are so tricky, man. It's
Yeah.
Just think about it.
There's
Like,
some
what
very
if-
smart people doing this stuff.
sure, like because you think about this month, right? Starfield, obviously they don't have to pay anything; it's their game. Party Animals on Xbox, Liza P on all cloud, Xbox and PC. I feel like that would obviously cost more for it to be on those three
Everything.
platforms versus just console. I think when it's on console, it's on cloud just by default as well. So maybe it's just when it's on PC, it's a little different. you've got GTA 5 is currently on Game Pass, so they're paying
Also-
potentially $50 million a month at the
Mhm.
moment on that, and I think they get Red Dead and GTA for a year, so it's a decent payday for Rockstar.
Mhm.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's crazy amounts of
Yeah,
money,
20
and you have to
million
imagine
dollars.
Sony's probably paying similar stuff for the games they put on there too.
Yeah, probably.
Although Sony's a little more low key with like the day and date stuff.
Mm.
They do it sometimes. Like Sea of Stars was day and date on both PS Plus and Game Pass. I'm actually curious how much they paid for that.
How many people
Um,
are subscribed to Game Pass? Do we know?
The most the recent official number was 25 million.
Okay, yeah,
Jesus.
they can afford it then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
25 million. Okay. hold on.
They're expecting, and I'm not sure if they're going to hit this. They want 100 million subscribers by 2030.
I reckon they could do that. Definitely.
With Activision Blizzard, I think that's
Absolutely.
I think
Yeah.
it's really going to help, and I think that's
Oh my God,
that's
yeah.
69 billion is definitely gonna. It's not going to pay off, obviously, but I think it's going to help a lot.
It's
And
gonna,
obviously
yeah.
Microsoft.
Dude, if they get
like,
if they get Activision, well, not that they get when they
Well,
get Activision.
I mean, and I don't have that in the hotfix today, but
approved.
the CMA has initially approved it.
Yes.
They're going to have an official ruling before before October 18th.
Did you see? This is a small thing I was talked about, but that Microsoft have talked about acquiring Nintendo.
I did see that.
You saw
Yeah.
that?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's not possible. That's not going to happen.
I'm sure
It's
that
turning-
they have internal conversations with that shit all the time where they're like,
I'm sure,
yeah,
and I'm
if we
sure
could,
it's
we would.
not like
Yeah.
it was a little bit like corporate overlordy. Like I've
Yeah.
never seen.
Oh,
Because
dude,
Phil
it's gonna-
Spencer's always been to me like, and he plays a great character. He plays like the gaming dad. Like he's just chill. Like he's just there to have fun. You know, he plays games. He's just here for the gamers. But then in these in emails, he's like, "That would be a fucking career highlight for me to buy Nintendo." It's like, Jesus, Phil Spencer, chill out, man.
Calm
What
down,
the fuck?
bud. Calm down. But yeah, no,
I mean,
that'll
it would never happen.
No,
And
that would
also,
turn
heard-
too much into a monopoly. That would turn too much into a monopoly.
But I think
Like-
I don't. I think Japan would have an issue with it. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
that is
For an
true.
American company to scoop up one of their biggest
Yeah,
Japanese
that's-
How does
companies.
that work actually?
don't
Because
know.
obviously the FTC was trying to block this, but Nintendo's a Japanese company. How do they get involved with that? Or is
Well,
it just because
no,
one
they
of the
weren't.
companies is US?
Wait,
Because you're
Well-
saying that they would be blocked from buying Nintendo because it would be too much of a monopoly for them to have it. But
well,
if
I don't.
it's-
I think I don't. I think the CMA would have an issue with it.
Yeah.
I don't think the FTC would though.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Well,
that they have
the
any
current
jurisdiction.
FTC would, because they're very like anti-tech company buying up stuff at the moment. Their like chair has been very like against that stuff. Like they've tried to block a lot of stuff, which is why they're trying to block the Activision Blizzard deal. And I'm not sure. I couldn't imagine a scenario where they even try and pursue
I wouldn't
buying
happen. No.
Nintendo.
No, it wouldn't.
I mean,
it wouldn't
I
happen.
think I'm pretty sure in like 2001 or just like early 2000s, they were in conversations with Nintendo. And why? And by I say conversations, it was like the head of Xbox at the time said it was almost like an hour of them laughing at us. Like it just did not go well at all. Like they were just like laughed out of the room essentially because they were like, "What the fuck?" Are you
Nintendo
talking
knows
about?
their worth.
Like
Yeah.
Xbox was not a thing yet. The Xbox wasn't even released, and they're trying to buy Nintendo to get Nintendo games on Xbox. It's like, come on, man.
Hey, we want to buy you, and they just laugh.
And it's probably the
entire
typical like
time.
American thing where they just don't understand the culture.
No,
And and they just like offended them deeply, and that was that
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, no, I don't see it. I don't see it happening. But like, yeah, if they actually scoop up Activision, which seems more and more likely
I know-
by the day,
It's gonna. I mean, it's gonna happen at this point. I think there's.
Yeah.
I think without a doubt, it would be very weird for the CMA to be like, "Oh, actually."
yeah,
Like
no, it's
at this point, they're already tentatively approving it, so
Mm,
it would be weird for them to like get a change of heart mere weeks before they're gonna
yeah,
do their official
Dude,
approval.
Game Pass will be a juggernaut. It's gonna be a juggernaut. Like
I'm
seriously,
looking forward to the day where it's like coming to Game Pass this month, and it's just a wall of Activision games.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
AAA mad games.
it's gonna be the same thing as when like Ubisoft came, or was EA when EA got partnered with Game Pass, and you just saw the wall of EA games. that
Yeah,
came out.
when the Series X came out and they partnered with EA Play.
Yeah,
If I
and
can
you
get a
just got the
majority
wall.
of like the games that I play on like a subscription that costs the same as one game for an entire year, like
Mhm.
that's mad.
Insane deal.
Yeah.
Best deal in gaming.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But the thing with the Nintendo thing, like I I really would not want Nintendo
No,
to get bought by anyone,
no,
honestly.
no.
They'd
That
lose their
Nintendo.
soul at some
Yeah,
point.
yeah. Nintendo is good at their own
You
thing.
know, it would be nice to have Nintendo games on more powerful hardware. Be nice to have Nintendo games on PC, but yeah, I just don't.
I
I
think
don't like.
Nintendo is in their own corner. They have their own thing, and as Nathan said, they kind of have their own soul. And if they get bought out, they'll lose that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess it would depend on whoever bought them, how they would handle that management.
Yeah,
If they would just be
yeah.
like, and I mean, to Microsoft's credit, I think at least for Bethesda, they have sort of been like, do your thing.
You're already
Yeah.
successful.
For you know, to its detriment, I'd say with Redfall, you know, they kind of let Bethesda
Yeah.
do their own thing with Redfall and they fucked it.
Mhm.
Outside of being like, hey, you can do whatever you want, but your games are going on Game Pass. Which
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think the publisher, like Bethesda and the developers, care that much because more people get to play their games. So it seems
Mm.
like a win as long as they just keep their job. I think that's what they're really happy about.
Mhm.
They're fine with. Yeah, it would never happen. No,
No.
Nintendo is worth too much, and
No.
like
Yeah. Exactly.
it was weird in the email that he'd mentioned hostile takeover. But
Yeah, I
like it was
saw
like, oh,
that.
it would be like it would be too it would they would lose. Oh man, what was it like public? You know, people wouldn't be happy with them obviously
No.
if they're
Hostile takeover.
hostile taking over
That's,
Nintendo.
that's really fun.
Anyway, so we want to move on to the hotfix of the week. There's only a
Yes.
couple of stories here, so it won't take too long. One of them will take mere seconds. Ubisoft announces the Division 3 with zero fanfare. This is
Let's
from
go.
this is from Paul Tassi at Forbes. I didn't put it here, but that's what it's from. What used to be one of Ubisoft's Tom Clancy franchise mega hits, The Division, has now quietly announced its second sequel, The Division 3. The fate of the Division as a franchise has been unknown outside of a survival multiplayer shooter called Heartland, which still does not have a fixed release date. And it seemed like that would be the way forward for The Division outside of an actual sequel. That is not the case. In a press release and a single tweet from the Massive account, Ubisoft has announced that Julian Garrity is returning to the universe and is currently building a team to start work on The Division 3. What are your thoughts? Maybe your thoughts on the announcement. First of all,
Worst announcement I've ever seen.
Ubisoft is fucking weird, man. Like they could have saved this for like
An actual
like
like
a
big
I mean,
release.
they do like their Ubisoft Forward, I think, which is like their like little press conference thing. They
Mm.
could have saved this for like a little tease at some point in
Bro,
that.
I remember when Division 1 got released, they like did stuff with Corridor Digital, and Corridor Digital made like some short films on the Division
You know
and
they're
like
making a Division film
what?
Could be cool.
That could be cool. Like look,
with
here's
Jake
the thing.
Gyllenhaal.
Here's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Attached to
How
it.
long have we known about that?
A long time.
Yeah.
Here-
It may not happen, but
Yeah.
Here's the thing,
it's
is that, like-
it's been gestating for a while.
Yeah.
The Division universe is really cool, and I love the idea of like a really grounded looter shooter, right? Because we've had Anthem, we've had Avengers, we've had Destiny with its Juggernaut, we've had Warframe. These looter shooters that are very fantasy. I've always wanted Division to be good and to kind of have its own stand on its own 2 feet and to be able to actually not keep falling behind.
I
Because
think
it's like,
Division's.
yeah.
I honestly think I think Division's been good. I just think they need to make better campaigns. 'Cause
Well,
their
that's what I
single
mean.
their campaigns have not been great,
Mm.
and their end game stuff. I mean, I sound like such a casual, but I think their raids need to be a little bit user friendly, a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like they need to
I-
be less like a raid from like an MMO where you need to gather a fucking full squad
Because you need like 8,
and
9
go over
people.
for 12 hours. Like
You need like 8, 9 people to do a Division
it's an 8-player raid.
8 player, like that's
And you
that's
need
a
you
lot.
cannot do any you need 8 people obviously.
That's a lot.
And
right?
they are apparently
And
very mechanically demanding and like
yeah,
super tough and way tougher than raids in Destiny.
the groundwork of Division is really good. I love the cover-based shooting. The mechanics of the gadgets are really cool. How loot works and how you can able to spec into certain things and what else you can spec more into survival or DPS.
I like the
whatnot.
super guns you could get in, or what they weren't called that, but you know how
Oh,
you could have
the-
like
the
the
heavy-
minigun
the
or
heavy
the
weapon,
heavy.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that stuff.
Like all that stuff is really cool. But as you said, when you start to get into the end game sort of content, it falls quite a lot, right? Because what it turns a lot into, and this is the issue that Division has, is that they start to become bullet sponges, the enemies, okay? And it doesn't make much sense. Like you're shooting at someone
Just
and
a
they
man.
eat 5
Well, they
five
gave you
bags.
sort of a lore reason in Division 2 where it
They
was like
did,
they had
yes.
armor. They were
Yeah.
wearing tactical armor, I guess.
Mhm.
But
But
And it was less bullet spongy. Like I know they did a lot of the bullet spongy enemies were like the big juggernaut enemies.
yes, which
So
I'm
it was a
fine with
little
that.
bit better.
Yeah.
I honestly I can't give you a great reason why I stopped playing Division 2.
Well,
I don't remember why I stopped.
the reason why I stopped playing Division 2, there was two reasons. One, Dark Zone, it was completely unbalanced towards two different builds. There was one build where you
Mhm,
used a hive swarm,
Oh
and if
man,
you
I
threw
so
it
wish they
out,
did more with the Dark Zone.
mhm.
dude, the Dark Zone is such
Every
a cool
time I hear
concept.
about it, every time I think about it, I'm like,
Well,
oh,
I
it's
think
just so
I
cool.
think
cool.
It's
Heartland's gonna
such
be
a
promising for that aspect because
Yeah.
I
yeah,
think the majority of the map is a dark zone.
Hmm.
dude, like
I think well,
it's
actually, no, I think all of it is a dark zone
Yeah, that's
Dark
right.
because
Zone.
it's a
Yeah.
survival it's like it's a Tarkov. It's like a
Yeah,
extraction shooter.
like Dark Zone is such a cool concept because the thing about Dark Zone, which is really cool, is like the loot is so good. Everyone goes in, and when you run into other people, it's always this tensing of like, are they going to shoot me? Do we
I
have
was
to
gonna say
fight and
there is
whatnot?
a consistent tension all the time
It's
in the
not
dark zone.
always all
It's
out shooting, which I like.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like
There
there's
is
just
like there's like a bartering like
Hmm.
discussion system where you can like be
exactly.
like talk to them, be like, hey man, I'm friendly, I'm just gonna keep going. And then if you are gonna engage and be a prick and kill people, you become
You get a
a
bounty. You get a
Oh,
you
bounty.
that's right.
You
Yeah.
get
No, that is
manhunt.
a
Manhunt. That's
yeah.
what it was.
you
It's a
Yeah.
become a
really
you get
good
a manhunt and
trade-off.
you become a not shadow agent, like a I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah,
There's a
it's
naming
Shadow
for it.
Agent. Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
become a
It's a
bad guy
really
and
good
everyone knows
trade-off.
you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really really cool. And like what I loved about Dark Zone as well. I don't know if this was a thing in let's call it D2, but in Division 2.
Yeah.
In Division 1 what you could do, I remember once I did this a couple of times where there was a distraction going on and they were kind of like worried about people going around. So I snuck up to where their loot was, right on the kind of like the pole on like the rope to connect to the helicopter, and you could cut the loot off. So I just snuck
Mhm.
up, cut, took the loot, and just walked away.
Yeah, yeah.
You could do shit, and like it has such a cool base concept. They just need to get that end game right. They need to get that end game. They get that, they're good. They're set. Like
They are set.
the campaign's mid. The campaign's okay, and I feel like for most
It's
of
just
these,
never been like I feel like it's particularly with Division 2, they think you're more invested in the characters than you actually are. And I
mhm.
mean, maybe people are, but I just wasn't. Like I remember in
No, I
Division
didn't
2,
care.
I guess spoilers for Division 2, like a character that's been in the game since Division 1 ended up being bad at the end. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Sure,
cool.
I guess she's bad now, like whatever. Like
I
Yeah.
played Division
I
2.
didn't really I didn't feel betrayed. I guess I felt slightly betrayed, but not as like a, "Oh my god, no way."
Mm.
I played Division 2, didn't I?
Yeah,
You did.
we all played.
Yeah,
We all played
we
it.
all played Division 2.
It just
Mhm.
feels like Division 1.
It does. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was very
Yeah,
similar. There
Yeah.
were a lot
yeah.
of cool quality of life things, but it was very
Definitely.
much
Yeah.
like it sort of earned its sequel, but it wasn't
Mm.
a huge upgrade.
My favorite part of Division, and they need to make this into an actual game because it's so sick. Do you guys remember the DLC Survivor in Division
Division
1?
1, never played it, but I
You
had
never
it. I
played it?
bought it, never played it.
Bro, it was so good. It was so good because
Like a
like
survival
basically
battle royale.
yes, because basically what happened
That's
was
right. Yeah.
you because of the infection that went through and killed everybody, you basically got infected with it in a giant snowstorm hits. So the idea is you have to go and get the cure. And there's only a few on the map. You have to go and get the cure, but during the time you had to get like better clothing and whatnot, so you wouldn't freeze.
Oh, I
You had
like
to
that.
go to areas and then warm yourself up and whatnot, get better guns to fight people and stuff like that. It The thing was about it, it was really tense where like there was no music. All you can hear was like the wind blowing, and then sometimes you hear like cans rattle and stuff like that. And like it was really
Yeah,
sick.
I like
It
that.
was
Yeah.
it was
I
so
think
cool.
some of those mechanics are in Heartland.
That's good.
Like the
That's
food
good.
and water and
Yeah,
I
you
think
having
some of
even hidden
the
water.
I'm pretty sure that's a mechanic in Heartland.
There was what's really cool about that because there was safe houses as well you can go to and buy stuff. And like
Mhm.
what was really cool is when you would go into the safe house, people were like, come in, like with the storm outside, people would quickly usher you in and whatnot, and you could rest inside and stuff like that to get your health back and what it was so cool. It was so cool. It was like
It's
Division
unfortunate
was
that
final.
it just they didn't do something similar for Division 2, and
Yeah.
it's the player base just kinda dwindled, obviously, in Division 1, especially when Division 2 came out.
Mhm.
And so, like, you probably can't play that mode anymore, which kinda
Mhm.
sucks, that it's
Mm.
just kinda there. And it
Yeah,
was also paid DLC, which I think it
it
should just
was.
it was kind
It
of
was
that
super
time where
free.
they were just making DLC for everything, but it
Yeah.
probably should have just been its own mode.
But the coolest thing about this Survivor thing was that there were basically a new enemy called hunters, and what they were is they would specifically hunter after division agents, and their armor was sick where it was normal armor, right, but they had like division watches all around them, and basically like there was like some that had like 2 watches, right, very little. They killed a couple division agents, but the final boss had like they were covered in watches. They had a shit ton
That's
on
so
them.
that's
cool,
fucking
actually.
like goofy as fuck,
Yeah,
but kind of
it's
cool.
it's goofy as shit, but when you see it,
It's
it's
like,
sick
dude, it's like
because
Killmonger vibes where he's like he
Yeah.
cuts himself every time he kills
yeah,
someone. He's like
but
covered in these scars.
but
Yeah.
what's sick about it is that, like, when you go to fight him through the storm, because you can't see it in front of you, you just see an orange glow start to move towards you because of all
That's
the
pretty
watches
dope.
that's on him.
Yeah, yeah.
It's sick, man. It's
It's just a
really
fucking
cool.
beacon, bro.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. And
Yeah.
it was a cool DLC, and I hope they do something like that again. And if Heartlands is anything like
As I said,
that,
Heartland
please.
does have that kind. I'm
It
pretty
has,
sure when they showed like they teased the gameplay, there was like some like health meter, like there's like the
yeah,
food meter and stuff. So
please,
I'm
something like that.
actually
It'd be
kind of
sick.
excited for Heartland. I think it's
Yeah,
gonna be cool.
I
Free to
want to see
play as
some more
well.
gameplay on it. I want to see some more gameplay
I
on
want a
it.
release date. I kind of want to.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was gonna release this year, but
Mm.
probably not gonna happen.
Look, I'm always looking at Division stuff. I hope it's good.
It's funny, like I was gonna say, are you ready for a new Division game? And I think I am.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Honestly,
am.
I think I'm
100%.
ready
I've always
to
liked
dive back
Division.
in. Yeah,
It never got old for me because I never did the end game content, so
No.
it's always
Yeah,
nice for
exactly.
me.
yeah, I'm always down
Exactly.
to play more because I've always enjoyed the gameplay in Division.
Mm.
So
Yes, it's very
for
good.
sure. So we have an update to the Unity catastrophe from last week. So they've gone back on a lot of what they were going to originally do. So this is their letter from today from Mark Witten, who leads the Unity Create, which includes the Unity engine and editor teams.
Is that EA
Uh,
man or is that a different guy?
No, this is not the CEO.
Okay.
This is not the
They would not. They wouldn't dare have him talk. um, he says who he is and what he does, and he says sorry. We should have spoken with more of you, and we should have incorporated more of your feedback before announcing our new runtime fee policy. Our goal with this policy is to ensure we can continue to support you today and tomorrow, and keep deeply investing in our game engine. You're what makes Unity great, and we know we need to listen and work hard to earn your trust. We have heard your concerns, and we are making changes in the policy we announced to address them. Our Unity Personal plan will remain free, and there will be no runtime fee for games built on Unity Personal. We'll be increasing the cap from $100,000 to $200,000, and we will remove the requirement to use the Made with Unity splash screen. No game with less than $1 million in trailing 12-month revenue will be subject to the fee. For those creators on Unity Pro and Unity Enterprise, we are making changes based on your feedback. The runtime fee policy will only apply beginning with the next LTS version of Unity shipping in 2024 and beyond. Your games that are currently shipped and the projects you are currently working on will not be included unless you choose to upgrade them to this new version of Unity. We will make sure that you can stay on the terms applicable for the version of Unity editor you are using, as long as you keep using that version. For games that are subject to the runtime fee, we're giving you a choice of either a 2.5% revenue share or the calculated amount based on the number of new people engaging with your game each month. Based on these numbers, both of these numbers are self-reported from data you already have available. We will always be billed the lesser amount. We want to continue to build the best engine for creators. We truly love this industry, and you are the reason why. Thanks for caring as deeply as you do, and thank you for giving us hard feedback. So
Well,
this
I
is
mean,
Yeah, well,
good.
yeah, that's good.
it's
That's how it should have been from the start.
we talked about
should have
this
been.
a week or two ago when last time we talked about it. Will ruin the reputation, and people are not really going to use it. Right?
I think that these terms are pretty fair. I
Yeah,
think that this
no,
is
this
okay.
is fair.
They're
Like, this is
pretty
good.
fair. Yeah, but as I said, I think
Yeah,
the damage
late.
has almost it's been done,
Yeah.
and I'm curious how many people are still going to switch off Unity
Hmm.
based on the fact that they seem to have this reputation of on a dime switching and being bullshit and
it's
spout and
Great
changing
that they
stuff.
came back on projects that are currently out and released. It's like,
Yes.
yes, that makes
Mhm.
perfect sense. Why
Yep.
would they ever have done that?
Why would they ever retroactively charge you for games that came out years ago? That
Yeah.
makes
Mhm.
fucking no sense. So yeah, I think this personally, I think this is enough.
Yes.
But I'm sure we will see a downturn in Unity games going
Definitely.
forward.
100%. Yeah.
Especially from like the people that are owners of Unity Pro and Unity Enterprise
Hmm.
currently. Unity Personal, well, clearly there's no runtime fee for those, so you'll see a lot of like smaller indie creators probably still use Unity if they use Unity Personal. But yeah, a lot of developers who, people who made like Cult of the Lamb. I can imagine
Yeah.
them turning away from Unity now and probably going to Unreal or something else.
I think a lot of really new devs probably will still use this based on those terms.
Yeah, because those are really
'Cause
fair.
that's a pretty high cap. I don't think anyone expects to reach that cap.
Yeah, $1 million.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, shit, if you made a mill,
It is hot
like
mill, bro. You good?
these are, you're talking about like the top 1%
Yeah.
of game makers
Mm.
who are going to be charged. And it's also, they said, it's the lowest amount is what they'll take.
Yeah.
Between the 2.5% revenue share or the amount of people engaging with the game. So, yeah, I think I think it's fair, but yeah, I think the damage is sort of done
Yeah, I agree.
now, and it's kind of too late, unfortunately. But it's definitely a lesson, and I think their CEO should absolutely fucking be fired or resign or whatever. Like, I don't know, I can't believe you could not even imagine keeping that guy on because he seems like poison in the water. Like to me, like every company this guy touches, he fucks. Like,
Do you think they had like a bunch of these options in their back pocket where they're just like, all right, we'll keep moving it down a tier until they're finally happy with it?
That's what I say. It's like
And this
business
was their
101 where
option?
they're like, yeah, this
Yeah.
is actually what they wanted
Yeah.
to do. They were just
Yeah.
like, let's see how much we can
Yeah.
fuck people over before we
Yeah.
bring it down to what we actually think is reasonable.
It's a tactic,
Which
but
is
it's
disgusting.
damaging
It's
as
so
hell,
gross.
but
It's so
Yeah.
gross. It's particularly as you're the engine that a lot of very small teams use. Some teams that don't have publishers that just self-publish themselves. Like, nah, that's
Mm.
not
Real
right
gross.
at all. Very
Yeah.
gross.
yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Disgusting.
Are we
Okay.
ready to build the 100?
Yes.
I just
100.
realized when we get new people watching the podcast, we don't explain at all what we're doing in this list.
Well, they'll
at
figure
all.
it out.
They figure it out, but they have no clue. So if you are new, every week we all bring a game to add to this list of the top 100 games. We're currently at 90 games out of 100. This will now be 93. Who would like to go first? Oh, and also, by the way, this list is based on what we enjoy, not what we think the industry top 100 games
Yes.
are.
This is
Because it would obviously be very
a
different.
71st hour opinion piece.
I would
Yes.
not put in Marvel Ultimate Alliance in an industry top 100 game.
No.
Yeah.
There would probably be a lot more older games on here as well, but this is just the
Yes.
games of our era.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
So I am going to put on this. Oh my god, I cannot speak today.
I'm going to put on this list
I'm putting Mortal Kombat X on this list. I'm putting Mortal Kombat X.
X. Oh
Yes.
my god.
Yeah. The reason why I'm putting Mortal Kombat X, one, that is the first one that I came to. That's the first one I ever played.
Gross.
Yeah,
I'm only in a Rule 34, man.
yeah, that's the first one I ever played. Also, I did play the other ones afterwards, but it kind of holds a
What
closer
the
place to my
Am
heart.
I seeing a C? Combat with a C?
Hey, I've never played a Mortal Kombat game, bro.
Oh my god.
I'm
That
not
is
putting
triggering.
It,
Where are you
I'm
going to
not
put
gonna.
it?
I'm not gonna put it that high. I'm going to put it at 85. Literally, is a little bit low, but I wanted to put on a list because it was my very first fighting game, and I played a shit ton since. And I do genuinely enjoy it. I thought it was a good game. So yeah.
No, replace that shit, bro. Replace that with the new one.
Replace it with a new one. Mortal Kombat 1.
Mortal Kombat 1 just better,
I don't think Mortal Kombat 1 is the best. No, not by any means.
I don't think Mortal Kombat X is the best.
No, it's not. It's not.
I'd probably
It's
give it
close
to like
that.
Mortal Kombat 2. If I was
Mortal
gonna
Kombat 2, I
be.
could see that. I could see that.
I'll go next. I'm putting Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus on the list.
Good choice.
I can't believe there was no Wolfenstein on this list until now. I am gonna.
Colossus, bro. Is there a double L? Is it good?
There's one L, 2 S's, then another S.
Oh, right, cool.
Yeah, dude, this game fucking rocks. I know a lot of people prefer New Order to New Colossus, but I really love like the vibe of Wolfenstein 2, and I hope we get a Wolfenstein 3 one day. I'm gonna put this at number 39. I think it's a damn good shooter, and Machine Games are really fucking good at what they do. Now it is up to you, Nathan.
Yeah,
What is the 93rd game on this list?
I didn't think of a spot for it. I'm adding Starfield today.
Always nice
Oh.
to put on the list.
I've played a significant enough time that I am ready to put it on. Like 75 hours in. I think that's enough. She's going up, but not too up. I don't think it's better than a lot of the games on the up.
Sure.
I say here, below Halo 2. I
Okay.
think that is a good spot for it.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it's a good game, but it's not like major league fantastic.
Well, based on this list, it is the best Bethesda Game Studios game.
Absolutely. I would agree with that.
Well, there you have it.
Yep.
There is 93 games on this list. There's 2 more weeks before we somehow work out a 100th game. I've still got the one in the back pocket. And I think
Still got the back pocket one.
I think it's one that we will probably agree on. We'll see. Yes, thanks for hanging out. We appreciate it, of course. We'll be back again next week with so much news and games to play. I gotta get through some Resident Evil 4 separate ways. I got Cyberpunk 2.0 and Phantom Liberty to play.
Cyberpunk Liberty City.
Liberty
Hell
City,
yeah.
let's go, dude.
Let's go.
Yeah, man. I honestly after this, I'm jumping straight into Cyberpunk. I need to play some. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good rest of your day. And we'll see you guys very soon. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.